Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Vexing Radgull. For 1 colorless and 1 blue, it's a creature bird mutant 1/2 with flying, and whenever Vexing Radgull deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 rad counters if they don't have any red counters, otherwise proliferate. Choose any number of permanents and or players, then give each another counter of each kind already there. So I find this card very interesting because it's basically better than Thrummingbird in almost every situation, unless you have absolutely no interest in red counters, in which case you probably wouldn't be playing this anyway. But I think in most proliferate decks, this is a great new addition as another extra copy of Thrummingbird, which is one of the best cards in the deck. So this has a couple of things going for it over Thrummingbird. First, it's got an extra toughness, which is obviously very nice. And second, it can actually put rad counters on your opponents, and I think rad counters can actually be a legit win con in a proliferate deck because they are eventually going to be taking life from each counter they have on them, so it's kind of like a ticking time bomb where you can help push them towards death, particularly if you're proliferating a lot, which means that they might have a lot of counters on them. So this can be a little bit worse than Thrummingbird in certain situations, which is those where the rad counters don't really matter and you have counters on other stuff that you really want to be proliferating. In those kind of cases, this is kind of worse than Thrummingbird because the rad counters are just not going to be that useful. There is an easy solution to this, which is to deal combat damage with this first and then proliferate a bunch of times to increase the likelihood that they mill at least 1 land, so they're not losing all of their red counters, which means the next turn Vexing Radgull is going to get to connect and proliferate. But of course, if that's the case, then you didn't really need to proliferate in the first place. So all things considered, I don't think this is going to actually replace Thrummingbird anytime soon in most lists, but it is a nice extra option to kind of round out that kind of effect. Seeing as we now have a lot of redundancy and we're reaching critical mass at proliferate, you definitely need to considering which ones are going to get cut. I still think this one will probably make the cut because being cheap and having evasion is a great way to repeatedly proliferate, and proliferate is still a very powerful ability. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care.